screen capture video, I want to show you how to post to a discussion. So, you will belong to a class if you're in CourseSites, and you need to go to your class. I'll go ahead and use this as an example and open up the class to see the work that's there for you to do. And now these buttons that you see are things that are open to the instructor. Edit mode is on, I'm the instructor, these are my buttons. So you may not see all of this, but you should definitely see these items and these videos. Remember, a page icon signals an item, just some text or instruction. Here's a quiz. Alright, now that's already shut because it had a due date. Alright, but anyway, if you go down in here, this quiz is live. Usually you'll see a folder that says, or maybe an item or something, an item that might say discussion on Plato's Ion. Or now here in this case I've decided to put these discussions in a folder. So you'll need to open the folder by clicking on the title. And now I have only one discussion available here, so you'll see only one description. It's the Descartes discussion. So you'll get the instructions, you'll get the weight. Once you read through this, you'll realize, hey, to get to this discussion, I have to click on this link right here. Alright, so there's no way you can actually enter the discussion from the item. This is just giving you a verbal instruction. To get to discussion, to actually post your thoughts, you need to go to the discussion link and click on that. Now this is the discussion board for all of core learning units. So you may see forums. Now a particular discussion that has its threads and replies and that sort of thing is called a forum. You might see forums for things that you have no idea. Well, don't worry about them. The discussions I want you to do, I will articulate in your particular course, in your folder. So you don't have to worry about that or this. Here's the one you need to do. Now to get in here and to post to this, notice there's 0 threads, 0 replies, 0. So you go ahead and click on the title of the forum, a discussion forum. I'm sort of using the words discussion and forum, and discussion forum is all sort of meaning the same thing. And this is where you should be. Now don't worry, if you're the first one into a discussion, you're going to see a blank here, but you can just go ahead and create a thread. So you're actually posting original material here, and what you'll need to do, you get the instructions again, and then it's down here where you get started. So you might want to say Descartes ball of wax. Maybe you have a thought about that ball of wax thing and you want to talk about what you were thinking. So once you give the title, you go ahead and get down here and just write your thought out. Now the instructions for this particular assignment is that it needs to be at least 150 words. You can see the words happening down here. Depending on what class you're in, it might be a larger thread you need to produce, or a smaller one. So I'm not going to take time to actually write it here, but I would say something like the whole ball of wax notion is well, got to spell it right, is fundamentally an issue of perception. And then I might talk about how in my mind it's really a collage of certain static frames that when rolled together through the process of time appear like a movie would when you start rolling the reel. And the problem with all of this is that there is time that passes between one still frame and another. And how do we know that evil demon hasn't, in that split moment, when there's the moment between one frame and another, no matter how small of a difference those two frames may display, there's still that silent moment between them. Think of, again, a movie reel, and I think the evil demon might slip in there and take that wax out of there and substitute something else. So anyway, I might try to articulate that, and when I'm ready to go, I'm just going to go ahead and submit. Again, if you're not in Introduction to Philosophical Analysis, it's worth watching this video, because this is basically how you have to do it. All right. Now, to go ahead and read the thing, you might not see this here. I think I might see that. Only that's an instructor thing, but you can open it by clicking on it. Okay, and then you can read it You see it's loading thread, so just be patient. There's a lot of activity on this. So here's my post, and then you can reply. Say that's a lot of bunk or whatever, and then you submit your reply, and that's how you would reply to someone else's. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to whoops. No. Now don't forget about the links bar up here, because I'm going to go back a step, just to look at the forum itself. And so there's only one. If I'm actually the one that submitted this, and I know that the requirement calls for 2 more posts on my part. This is a thread post on my part, but now I've got to reply. Obviously, I'm not going to reply to mine. What I've got to do is I've got to take a break, come back tomorrow, see who else has posted, and then reply to theirs. And then as soon as I get 2 reply posts, and I've already got my original post here, as pathetic as it was, then my work is going to shuffle off to the instructor's box to be graded. Because the way I've set it up, of course, now I'm the instructor, so the way I've set it up is that it's only until the student has 3 posts, a thread post and 2 reply posts, that I will be able to see that work to grade. Now I can get in here and monitor it and watch what's happening, but I won't grade it until I actually see your work show up in my needs grading box, and then I'll grade it. And it won't show up there until you do 1 original thread and then 2 replies. Okay, so you have to post 3 times, a thread post and 2 reply posts. The thread post will have a specific word minimum that you have to reach, and the replies will also have a word minimum. You need to look at that in your instructions to the forum. Now, one general rule of thumb I follow is I probably am not going to get involved in the discussion, because I want you to hash this out with your peers, okay? And there is a teacher-student dynamic at play here, and I often fall back upon the authority that affords me, and we all know it's kind of there. So it's hard to really challenge the teacher or to engage in a genuine discussion with him or her. I prefer to stay out of these things. But I certainly will, be interested in what you've written and how you've replied, and I'll see that when I grade or when I monitor the discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and go even back one more link so that we can look at another one that has replies and posts in it, so you can see how it looks, okay? So let's go ahead and do this. This one, how about definition of addiction, okay? So we'll go in here, open it up. Again, you might not ever have to do this one, because this is somebody's, this is for another class perhaps. But so now notice that it's pretty important that you give a pretty a decent title to your post so that people can tell what it is. So these don't really tell me. I know they're trying to answer the question, but you can be a little more creative with your title to let people give people a heads up. This is what I'm going to talk about. Well, let's see what this one is about. You get in here, and you go. It's loading. So here you go. Somebody wrote this, and then down here are some replies. Okay, so that's how it will actually look. And if you want to reply to the post itself, you would hit reply. If you want to reply to someone else's reply, you would hit reply. So yeah, it's interesting dynamic, and it's got a lot of buttons you can push and things you can do. I would experiment with it and have fun with it. And once you meet the minimum, you can be assured that your work is going to be graded. But after that, I mean, reply as many times as you want to someone else's thoughts. Let the discussion actually take on the forms of a legitimate live voice discussion, and be respectful. Don't be bullying. Don't be derogatory. Don't kowtow to other people's points automatically. You can challenge in a thoughtful, respectful way. So certainly, take someone to task if that person is making some sloppy logic or something like that. But again, do it with the right spirit, and do it in such a way that you yourself would be appreciative if someone came at you with that sort of stance or that sort of a job to do, maybe the job of correction. And maybe we can all look back in our own lives and find out how people have responded to us in a serious discussion, challenging or correcting them. They've done it in such a way, with such a type of tone and a stance of respect, that we walk away not at all feeling nonplussed or disgruntled with the person, but in fact feeling glad that we've had that discussion. So a powerful assignment. It's worth 2 points or 4. Well, actually, you need to look at the instructions to see exactly how much it's worth for you in your particular class. And once you've done that, you can exit back out to the contents. So that's how you would, now when you hit the content button from the discussion, it will take you to the first page, the home page of Core Learning Units. And then you can scroll down to find your class within this host class and click on that and get going again on other material. So I hope this has been illuminating and instructive. Thank you for watching it.